Welcome in for this Sunday chat. It's just going to be a little bit different today in terms of catching up with a few things and just chatting about a couple of things on top of my mind. The first thing is I wanted to mention there was one of my viewers had mentioned something about a Tom Mackey top that I was wearing at some point and had asked me about it. So I was looking to see if they still had it available so that she might be able to get it. But unfortunately, while I was looking at the site, I came across some other things of his that really impressed me, and this is one of them, this sweater. So this is a really nice kind of holiday thing. It's a long top, and I love the colors on it, and I think it's really festive. I love the lower neckline for me now that I have the neck issues going on, and I think it's really nice to have the option of a round neck or a bateau or anything that does not emphasize my problems. What I would like is if this were a little bit warmer, a little bit thicker. It's very lightweight. I think for the people in milder climates, they would absolutely love this thing. Came in 3 different color waves. This one, they had one in a russet tone that actually appealed to me as well. And then they had one in greens as well as the tan colors. I bought it on QVC. There was one other piece that I got with it, and I'll be back in just a second to show you that. This is another top of his that I came across on the site that I fell in love with. I'm a purple gal. I mean, that's just who I am. This is a zipper jacket. Again, it's a very lightweight jacket. It's not anything you would wear for warmth. I love this faux leather trim. I love the colors that it's in. It has a really nice look on. It doesn't pay for me to try it on now. I will at a future time. The back is very simple, and it's just kind of square down to the bottom. It zips up nicely. Normally in the Bob Mackie stuff, I wear an extra small. I got the small in this one because I wanted to make sure that I could zip it all the way up and that it would lay fine, and it turned out to be the perfect choice for me. So I wanted you to see those 2 things. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about today, I had mentioned to a few of you about having a really nice conversation the other night with one of the gentlemen from one of those online dating sites, and he was very nice. We had a lovely talk. Surprisingly, there wasn't one, there were no pregnant pauses in the conversation. It really was very comfortable, and I think we both felt the same way. In the end, the only thing that made me get off the phone was the fact that a girlfriend of mine called to check in on me, and I realized we were on the phone for over 2 hours. So the interesting thing for me, and of course it's no surprise, at this age we bring a lot of baggage to the table. We all do. We all have the things that we envision that we want, or that we think that we need, or that we do need. And in his case, he's looking for somebody to move to his area and be part of his world. And I guess in essence, I'm looking for the same thing, for somebody to come and be part of my world. So we clearly can't be anything more than friends, but it's always nice to have a new friend. And if you have somebody who's understanding, nice to have somebody to talk to. So I will continue with that if he chooses to do it. And I will keep on investigating the possibilities within reason. Believe me, I'm not going overboard with it. The interesting thing is, and it made me think of many, many years ago, there was this training that was very popular. It was probably back in the 1970s. And it was called EST. It was the Earhart Seminar Training, and it was a rather rigorous 2-weekend, I want to say, ordeal, because it really was. We had groups of people. It was maybe 200 people, maybe more, all in one large room in a hotel in Manhattan. And we were essentially with each other for 18 hours a day for 2 days in a row. We were allowed very little food, very little sleep, and minimal potty breaks. I think the goal of it was to break down your resistance and to make you open up. One of the things they had said about the training was, you may come here to cure a cold. You may not cure the cold, you may cure pneumonia, but it will do something for you. And it actually did some really wonderful things for me. At the time, I was very, very deeply involved in a relationship with a man that I absolutely loved, but who was not good for me, and it turned out he was a pathological liar. So the person he presented to me was not, in fact, who he was. So one of the things that they said in one of the sessions at the training was that each one of us has this little silver box that we carry around with us all our lives. And every now and then we would open the box and we would look inside, and there would be our perfect person. That person who was the prince to our princess, or vice versa. The person who just, every vision we had of the perfect other half for us was in the box. Unfortunately, nobody could live up to that little person. So what you needed to do, in essence, was get rid of the box and start looking at people for who they were. So that was an interesting thing for me, and it was kind of something that came up when I was thinking about this whole thing with relationships and online dating. One of my subscribers had mentioned that she has a problem doing contouring and had liked the way that I do my contouring. So I wanted to ask if any of you think it would be worthwhile at all for me to do a tutorial on contouring, highlighting, contouring, the whole thing. Let me know. It's not anything overly fancy, and a lot of you, I'm sure, know how to do it with no problem at all. But if you think it would be worthwhile, holler and I'll do it. And if you have any other ideas, what I really need from you sometimes is, if you can think of something you would like me to do, you'd like me to talk about, you would like to know, just mention it down below, and I'd be more than happy to set up a video to tell you about this stuff. Wanted to mention to you also, probably next week, I'm going to do a end of the year roundup of all the products that I tried during this year, which were the clear winners for me. And several of them do kind of show up in that realm. So I'm going to go over that. I'll do it within the last couple of days of the year and share it with you. Much of it will not be a surprise because Lord knows I talk about it all the time. Let me come in close. Let me show you today's makeup. Today I decided I was going to go with a smoky eye, and I was going to do really the blacks and the dark grays with the white on the lid. I went with 2 drugstore palettes today. The Physicians Formula. This is that, what do they call it? I forgot what they call it. It's like a really shimmery kind of thing. And I used the white on the lid. I used a little bit of the black in the corner, though I did use another palette as well. And I used a little of the silver gray. The other palette that I used today was the Magnif Eyes Shadow eyeshadow contouring palette from Rimmel. I like Rimmel a lot. And this is what it looks like. And I wound up using that. I wound up using the 2 different blacks on the outer edge. I really like it a lot. And I used the browns in my, to do for the transition color. The light taupey color, and then I did the dark brown for the transition. I'm happy with the way it came out. Again, I used that butter bronzer. The more I use it, the more I like it. And I went for a red lip, and a red lip is not something I typically do. It's very, very rare, but I figured if I was going to show you this outfit, that would really work well. And I'm liking the red with the makeup that I have today. I also used, once again, that Becca Beachy Tint Souffle. It's unfortunately kind of dried up, but it still worked. And I did that with a little bit of my Hula just for the line right here to get the contour right. The wig, as you all know by now, I'm sure, is the it's Gabor Carte Blanche, and I believe the color on this is Platinum Mist. I think it's 101 plus. So I think that's probably about it for the look, and we will come back and talk about other things. But I did want to just touch base about these few things. Let me know if you like this kind of, I don't know, off the cuff kind of stuff. I do have so many more stories about my life, as we all do. Let me go out today with a really quick story about when I was, oh my God, I don't recall. I was a teenager, I think, because I was really so bloody impressed. I had gone to a play. We had this family friend who was a stage manager and director on Broadway, so I got to see many shows and meet many people in those earlier years. And this particular day that I went to the theater, there had been a snowstorm. There was disgusting snow on the ground. And as you can imagine, in Manhattan, by the time day 2 comes around, that beautiful white snow is now charcoal gray. And it was a slushy mess. It was disgusting. There I was in my coat, all huddled up, rushing into the theater, when to the left of me, there was this absolute vision of Jean Crane going into the theater. Jean Crane, if any of you remember her, had this gorgeous red hair. She was a drop-dead gorgeous woman. She was married to Paul Brinkman at the time, who was also absolutely beautiful. And I remember she was wearing a teal coat with a fur collar, a teal wool coat, and she had teal shoes on to match. Teal shoes in a snowstorm. My belief is that she was carried to the front of the theater because her shoes were meticulous. They looked incredible. So it was another one of those moments in my life when I felt like, what a study in contrast. But it was something that stayed with me all these years, and just a moment in time. So that's my story. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I love you all. I love the support that you've given me. I love the support that you've given other people that I love in here who really need it. As many of you know, Sheila, Life with Lily, is going through a tough time right now. So any of you who have not seen it, either on Bella's channel or on Sheila's video where she talks about it, just send out a little prayer for her and go visit her and give her a little bit of encouragement. So on that note, take care. God bless, my friend.